Today we begin with breaking news as the Waupaca County jury returns a guilty verdict in the trial of William Zelensky.
After 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found Zelensky guilty of first-degree intentional homicide for the 2020 death of Riley Manente. He was accused of killing Manente over missing reptiles. Zelensky said the animals were worth about $17,000.
Holly Brantley live now in Waupaca with a reaction to the verdict from the courtroom today. Holly.
When jurors read the verdict, family members of the victim immediately began shedding tears. Zelensky also began crying. They sequestered just before noon, coming back with a verdict after about 3 hours. Now, during closing arguments, prosecutors tried to establish intent to kill by telling jurors Zelensky had loaded the gun. Assistant District Attorney Veronica Isherwood also trying to poke holes in Zelensky's claim of self-defense, saying Manente had no weapons on him. Defense attorney Tim Hogan told jurors Zelensky was simply out to find his animals and bring them home safely, and that he never wanted to kill anyone.
Anybody, common sense, gun safety, you don't run around with a double-barreled shotgun with the hammers pulled back. That's intent. There's the only evidence that there was an unlawful interference on Bill is his self-serving testimony this week that he had 977 days to come up with.
He wasn't intending to shoot Riley. He was intending to stop the threat that was barreling towards him. And Riley was looking to fight. We heard Riley several times, "Put down the gun and fight me like a man."
Manente's family members and prosecutors spoke out just after the jury returned the verdict.
We just like to thank the prosecution team. They did amazing and they really helped us get some peace, so thank you.
We believed it was from the very beginning that this was intentional homicide, and the jury agreed with us.
Sentencing now set for August 22nd. Live in Waupaca, Holly Brantley, Action 2 News.